And that guy here, Thursday, August 1st, 2013, ThemeWeek. I've got part 4. And so we shall begin. Diana clung to Dorian as the large beast thought over the curious case before them. The snake rocked its head up and down just moments before latching on to Diana's waist. The tiger half of Dorian lowers swiftly and lunges forward. The claws of his left leg hit one tree, and the right holds steady to the ground. The hind legs follow the front. Diana's head swings as the world goes on its side, and Dorian races through the trees in such an awkward fashion. The wind whips away her breath before she can scream at the beast. Her hair snags into a tree branch, leaving chunks of hair behind. The forest moves by at an incredible speed. As Dorian spots the end of the tree line, he feels a solid, palm-thrust hand stop his movement. Murmur pulls his hand back, shaking it lightly as his face melts into a sadistically sweet smile. Breaking the silence first, the demon calls out, "It seems that you would try to take her from me then. I had hoped for your sake, Dorian, that you wouldn't have done that." Dorian's tiger jowls growl as his snake head hisses. "This girl was my prize first. I will not be giving her away for devil scum to toy with." Diana braced her head in her hands, confused, tired, and bewildered by the speed at which things were spinning out of control. Murmur's eyes continue to follow her, even as he steps forward and quickly clasps his hands around Dorian's front leg. The roar of pain seemed to escape even before the sickening crack of bone on bone splintering could be heard. Again the demon speaks. "Dorian, Dorian, Dorian," the last one echoing from his lips. "We both know how this will end. Do yourself a favor and just hand over the wretched little girl. I will then let you leave with only one leg gone." Dorian laughs inside his chest and places his leg on the ground, holding a little of his weight. "The leg is far from gone, little demon," he said calmly. Diana shifts to look at the leg as it seemed to shake under the beast that selflessly tried to rescue her. It was as she started to draw her eyes back to the demon that she saw them. The vultures that had been hanging around before were now interests from Dorian. She opened her mouth to scream, "Dorian, under you!" As the girl's terror-driven scream starts, the closest vulture stuck its claw into the wounded leg. The claw dug deep just as Dorian sank his teeth into the flesh of the vulture's neck. The bird couldn't release a sound before its head was separated from its body, which fell lifelessly to the floor. The other birds quickly back away from the creature. Not many mortal beasts would choose to eat a demon's underling. Without haste, they were gone. Dorian turned back to the demon, and that's when the pain increased. The flesh on his leg felt like liquid fire was bubbling underneath. Many thoughts began racing through his head. Mainly was the idea that the bird had poisoned him. He would not be able to fend off the demon and stop the flow of the poison. The pain continued to travel further up from the cut. And with the demon only feet away, Dorian did the only thing he could. He reached down with his fierce tiger jaw and clamped it around the leg. His teeth stained crimson as the flesh gave way quickly to his force. The bone already snapped, parted, and gave no resistance. He drops the lower half of what was his leg to the ground. The remaining 3 legs bend at the knee and then uncoil quickly. His left front leg swiped faintly at the demon, who ducked the attack with a smile, which faded as he saw the true attack. The snake released Diana for a split second as it shot outward and struck Murmur. The bite was unlethal to a demon, but it did have just enough potency to paralyze it for an hour or 2. Without hesitation, Dorian continued his previous attempt at running. The snake found itself wrapped around the girl again. Diana expected to see the tree line, but only saw more and more trees. The run continued for what seemed like hours. The alarming speed and now hindered gait of the beast was almost impossible to ride in sequence with. As her legs began to quiver, Dorian halted. The snake relaxed and helped the girl down. Her legs couldn't hold her and she fell on her rear. With the haunting echo of 2 voices. "And I've changed direction. I must get my leg looked at before I try and accompany you to the large city of the north. Before I do, though, I must ask why Murmur is after you." Diana, sore and relieved to be on the ground, almost cried. They had backtracked. She was not making it to her father anytime soon, and the world was nothing like it was before. This thing in front of her had removed its own leg without even a thought. Her hands dig into the ground. She lies back before trying to come up with an answer. I'm not really sure why there is a demon after me. I have no idea why you're here. I have no idea why mermaids pulled me across the new ocean. I have no idea about anything anymore," she said as her eyes sealed shut and tears rained down her cheeks. Dorian, unaccustomed to emotion, leaned himself against a tree and licked at his wound. As the girl sat up, he looked into the sky and released a piercing scream. From under her, the earth began to shake, and she stands as fear stretches over the tear-glistening cheeks. "What now?" she cries. The ground parts and a figure steps forward. At first glance, he would appear to be burning, but with closer inspection, one would see that the fire elemental's flame was flowing like blood from limb to limb. The sound comes from almost nowhere. "Dorian, my friend, what has happened to you?" Grunting a response from both heads, I decided to tangle with the demon, and I came to call on that favor, Ignis. My part of the story is over. Glitch, it remains up to you to see how it ends for this month. Good luck.